Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm Gary, and this is not David. So I just want to do another solo reading today. Dave's back is hurting him a little bit, so he's trying to avoid sitting down as much as possible. So, doing these readings would be a little tough for him. Hopefully, I suspect he's probably doing readings for his channel, but he's trying to limit the amount of sitting he's doing to give his back some relief. So I wanted to do a reading on what Trump is planning on doing in Chicago and or possibly Baltimore. Recently, as of like today, a California judge ruled, a federal judge in California, Judge Breyer, ruled that Trump was violating the Posse Comitatus Act. And what is the Posse Comitatus Act? Because I know we all learned that in school. It was part of that whole Schoolhouse Rock. What's a bill? What's a conjunction? What's the Posse Comitatus Act? What is Interplanet Janet? Anyways, the Posse Comitatus Act was passed in 1878, which prohibits the use of the U.S. military to execute domestic laws. And in his ruling, the Posse Comitatus Act requires express permission from Congress, and despite that restriction, Trump decided to deploy the troops anyways. And so basically what it's saying is you can't deploy the troops unless Congress gives you authority to do it. And so in California, I think there's still about 300 National Guards troops that are deployed. And the federal judge basically said, okay, what you did is illegal. You need to give control back over to Governor Newsom. But I'm going to stay my enforcement of this decision for 10 days to give you a chance to appeal it. And so basically he can still do it for another 10 days. Meanwhile, in unrelated news, Trump had his little presser about Space Force being moved from Colorado to Alabama. Like anyone gives a crap about Space Force. But I guess later he was talking about how he wants to deploy National Guard troops to Chicago and or Baltimore. And he's going to do it because he wants to. And so now there's a ruling out there saying that doing that's illegal unless you have permission from Congress. But he's got 10 days. He's got like this little fuzzy window that he can play in. So for entertainment purposes only, let's take a look at what Trump's mindset is right now and whether he's going to deploy those troops. Personally, Gary the analyst, yeah, I totally think he's going to deploy those troops. I have absolutely 99% convinced he'll do it because he thinks it makes him look good. Hey, it worked great in D.C., it worked great in L.A., so it'll work great in Chicago. In D.C., I think he actually has the authority to do that, but in L.A. he didn't, per the judge's ruling, and in Chicago he wouldn't, per the judge's ruling. But that, a federal judge providing a ruling is not much of a deterrent to Trump, and I'm sure he wants this to go to the Supreme Court, where his 6 Supreme Court justices may just bow to his whim and give him more authoritarian power. So for entertainment purposes only, how's Trump feeling about his ability to send troops to Chicago? Okay, foundation of the reading is the Four of Swords. I've deployed it in 3 different areas, and only one area's come back and said that you can't do that. So, he's thinking about it. He's got a concept of a plan. The challenge is the 8 of Wands. This is the judge's ruling coming out saying that what you did is illegal. It's also the challenge is it's a combination of what the judge has said and what he's also said to the press. So now that's kind of a challenge. It's like, okay, well, how do I handle this? The energy underneath is the Page of Wands. This is about creative messaging or having new messaging coming out. So he He may try and change up the justification of why he's sending the National Guard into Chicago, even though Chicago said they don't want him. The judge says it's illegal, but he's already said that he's going to do it. So he may have to come up with a different messaging or a different rationale as to why they should be there. In the past, you got the Ace of Swords. This is the judge's ruling saying, hey, you're not a king. You need Congress's permission to deploy the National Guard. Current situation is the Page of Pentacles. So this is about, I think so Pentacles are about things of value, right? It's not necessarily money. It's just things of value. It could be an idea. It could be a whole bunch of things. But in this case, I think what he's looking at this as a gift. You see how the Page is kind of worshiping or really admiring that pentacle? This is kind of like the gift. This is what he wants. He wants it to go to the Supreme Court because he wants his Supreme Court to give him that authority to do it. Even though the Supreme Court is just supposed to interpret the Constitution, and the Constitution or the rule is very clear what is required to deploy the National Guard. There has to be a rebellion, and people protesting and or perhaps breaking the law is not a rebellion if the police can reasonably handle what's going on in the situation that's going on. Overarching energy is a Ten of Wands. This is just one more action that Trump is throwing on top of the courts. He has got the federal courts and the Supreme Court log jammed with his cases that he want to give him more power, more control. The lesson to be learned is the Six of Swords. This is one of those ones that he probably should just move away from. No one to fight. No one to. Well, that's really more the Five of Swords. This is trying to take your situation away from a turbulent arena and move it to a more calmer place. This could just be defining that if you deploy the National Guard to Chicago, this may or may not happen. You may calm things down, but you're not resolving the problem. You're just basically using force to make the problem go away, but the underlying problem is still there. Unless you're permanently going to deploy the National Guard as policemen. Outcome is the Five of Cups. He is not going to be happy with how this plays out. He's currently not happy with what the court decision is. And this from a future standpoint, he may feel that this is not something he'll be able to get away with. Although I just, like I said, let me get a clarifier. What is the Five of Cups? Clarify that for me. What is the Five of Cups? Okay, so the Five of Cups means, just the one clarifier is the Fool. He's got to try a different approach. That's kind of consistent with the Page of Wands. So I think what the Five of Cups here is, he can't use the same old story that he used in Los Angeles. So he's got to come up with a different way. Or he's going to act foolishly and just do the same thing. So I guess that just begs the question, is he actually going to do it? Right? I mean, that's in the comments, that's what people keep asking me. Are they going to deploy troops in Chicago? Well, let's find out. Is Trump going to deploy troops in Chicago and or Baltimore? Is he going to deploy the National Guard without congressional approval in Chicago and or Baltimore? Okay, let's see. Is he going to deploy it? We'll just do a little four-carder. Well, we got to take some action here. We can't just sit idly by. We must take action immediately. The main clarifier is the Queen of Pentacles. We need to take care of our citizens. So the other clarifier is the Eight of Cups, the emotionally walking away. He wants to take action. He wants to show it that how much he cares about his citizens. But this is one of those things that he should be walking away from it, and he's got a decision to make. Do you do you send the troops or not? And underneath you got that you got that 5 of Cups again, which was the outcome in just the previous reading, which was ultimately clarified as his previous messaging won't work. He's got to come up with a new set of messaging. So will he send them? He wants to, but he needs to change his messaging. So what does this? What does the sorrow card mean underneath it? Hi, kitten. Yeah, hangman. He needs to take a different approach. Kitten, you make a better door than a mirror. I just want you to be aware of that. How are you? Want to say hi to everybody? See? Okay. Well, let me put this on pause really quick. If you pardon the pun. Ha ha ha. Pause. Get it? And let me see if I can satisfy this kitten. Okay. So kitten jumps on the table like a brother. You know, you want one of two things. Punky, if he jumps on the table, he wants food. Kitten, it's either I want my food or I want a head scratch. Apparently it was food this time. She may be back. So the clarifier to the 5 of Cups is the hangman, which is he needs to change his approach. He needs to look at this thing differently. So he wants to send the troops, but now that he's got our federal judge saying that what he's doing is illegal, he's probably going to try and change up his rationale for sending them. Or, you know, he's going to try harder to prove that it's an actual rebellion or redefine what a rebellion is. So he's got to change it up, but he's not happy about that because he's passionate about being the law and order president, you know. Good Lord. Let's look at the current energy around the Supreme Court. Will they take the case, and how will they rule if they take it? So, entertainment purposes only. Hey, just so I had a question in the comments about this clock here. I'll show it yet again. This is a clock that my wife got in Japan. It is Sharks and Kittens. Yeah. It's just bizarre. It's just, she thinks it's adorable. I think it's just a little bit, I don't like it. Doesn't ring with me. So, you know, what the heck. It was a gift to me, right? It was my gift. Okay, so, will the Supreme Court take it? Let's just do a double side by side. Let's just side by side. Will they take it? And if so, how will they rule on it? Or if they don't, why not, right? So let's see. Will they take it? Okay, it's an opportunity, a new opportunity to provide value. So it'll bring an end to the cycle. That's the World card. So you've got an opportunity. You got the end of the cycle, you got the big burden, and you got the new messaging. Okay, so will they take it? My gut feeling is yeah. As soon as I saw the Ace of Pentacles, yeah, they're going to take it. They're going to take this opportunity to provide some additional value. The World card, you know, it's the completion of the journey. You know, we had the Fool card underneath, right? The start of the journey, this is the end of the journey. So maybe this idea can come to an end with the Supreme Court. There's been a lot of cases that Trump's bringing, and he's bringing these crazy messages, crazy messaging. How will the Supreme Court rule? It looks like they're taking, there's going to be chaos. Or this could be, you know, defining what a rebellion is. Not believing everything that's being presented. You know, what's being presented as a rebellion may be a bunch of crap. Don't believe it. This is just Trump trying to get everything he wants, or the court sticking to its values. And the Star, supporting democracy. So I get a feeling that it's going to go, that they're going to take the case. but they're gonna they're gonna define what a rebellion is, because right now what Trump is positioning as a rebellion, which is basically a protest that has some violent aspects to it, is going to fall. It's going to fall short. So let's take a look at the energy underneath. The energy underneath this, the tower, because he wants to bring down the institutions. And here it's the victory card. But whose victory? Who's going to be victorious? Trump or the Constitution, the government? Okay, that doesn't help me. Well, which part of the government? The executive branch or the judicial branch? Temperance. It's going to be a balance of the two. Oh, for the love of Christ. Okay, so what this may indicate is that the Supreme Court will more specifically define what a rebellion is. That will give the government some more leeway, but provide a little more balance. But Trump will declare it as a victory. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. So, current energy is, Supreme Court will take it. Current energy is that they will probably throw Trump, yet again, throw Trump a bit of a bone and give him more leeway to enact the National Guard as his own personal police force. I mean, he's got ICE already, so that's kind of like his little Gestapo. And I guess you got the National Guard to be his national police force. Just what the hell did we sign up for? Come on, health event, let's go. In unrelated news, this ought to be fun. I heard Rudy Giuliani was going to nominate him or present him with the Medal of Honor. Let me pause this. I want to make sure I got this right. Okay, so it's the Medal of Freedom, which is the highest award that could be given to a civilian in peacetime. Because Giuliani, of all people, has earned that, right? Good Lord Almighty. It's just like Trump to take any sort of award and absolutely take all the value away from it. Like the Nobel Peace Prize, for example. If he's awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, the value of that award just completely goes away. All right? It's clearly crap. So now with the Medal of Freedom, I think he gave it to Rush Limbaugh his first time around. It's just like, it's so disgusting to me. The lack of morals and ethics and integrity. The standards are so low. All you have to do is be loyal to a fault. I mean, he bankrupted this bastard. And so I guess for Giuliani willing to give up all of his comforts and all of his wealth, at least he's got a medal. I guess when he goes to the soup kitchen to have dinner, he can show him his shiny medal, right? Okay, so just what's the energy around the Medal of Freedom? Seven of Swords. He helped me steal. He's basically, Seven of Swords just making off with stuff when no one's looking. They took away all your assets when you were convicted of what was it? Sorry about that. Defamation is the word I was trying to come up with. He got fined $148 million for defamation, and somehow that's been magically paid for. So it's like, oh well, they've taken everything away from you. So here's a medal for you, for being my friend. The cross is the death card. This is one of two things. Now, don't expect anything more from me, or it could be he just got involved in a fairly serious accident. Maybe it has more ramifications than we currently are thinking. Underneath it, the Three of Swords, heartbreak, betrayal. This is certainly how we're feeling about the Medal of Freedom, because it's like, what has this guy done to earn the Medal of Freedom? He's completely tarnished his legacy. In the past, you got the Nine of Cups, the hopes, wishes, dreams fulfilled. This is Giuliani sticking by Trump's side, and basically defaming people in Trump's honor. Current energy is the Queen of Swords. You know, this is just Trump's truth. In his mind, this is payment for loyalty. Eight of Wands, just getting the message out there to anyone who continues to be loyal to me. I can reward you. The lesson to be learned, though, Five of Wands, it's just going to create more chaos and upheaval. People aren't going to be happy about this. There'll probably be protests, I suspect, around this. I mean, Giuliani is such a non-entity anymore. We don't even do videos on him because you guys don't even watch him when we do videos on Giuliani. Lesson to be learned is the Four of Swords. Yeah, you should probably think about these things before you act. So, yeah, he's doing it. People aren't going to be happy about it. To me, it just devalues the meaning of it. But that's how Trump is. Anyways, that's all I got. Just a fun little finish there with Rudy Giuliani, who we all care so much about. God, what a classic case study in how to completely ruin your reputation. It's just, oh my God. You know, after the 9/11 attacks, he was really riding high, you know, America's mayor. And now he's just like this despicable, detestable old man who chases after underage women. You know, I don't know if you saw that whole little Borat clip, that segment that he was in a movie with Borat, where he was being interviewed by this interviewer who was, you know, being presented as underage, and Rudy was ready to go. He was all ready for action with someone that he was told was underage. She wasn't really underage. She was an actress who was over the age of 18, but she was presented as someone underage, and Rudy was all for it. So, yeah, that's the MAGA hero right there. Woo! Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Sorry that I had to end it with Giuliani. But if you like these videos, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell. We'll wake you up at midnight with a new one. Leave a comment. I read them all, respond to many of them. And let's give a couple of shout-outs. We've got a shout-out for Cupcakes, also known as Nancy, who claims never heard her name called out in Romper Room. That surprises me because Nancy is a fairly common name. But, hey, if you didn't hear it, you didn't hear it. And here's the sun shining in. Let the sun shine in. Don't worry about the Romper Room shout-outs. You've got Twin Tarot shout-outs. And then Tennessee Chin. Hi, Tennessee Chin. I made another thoughtful contribution to the channel. Dave and I totally appreciate that. And you've got the Four of Swords. You should really think about donating to this channel in the future. Don't tell David because I just buy beer with it. So, you know, that'll teach him. If he was to read the comments, then he might get some of this stuff, right? But since he doesn't, that's too bad for him. And let's just give a shout out to someone who's left a comment recently. I'm just going into the comments section for today's video, which is we're talking about the trash bags flying out the White House window. And we are going to give a shout out to Hilly Ground, Joy and Sorrow. Hi, Hilly. And what did Hilly say? Hilly said, it would be good to know what window and what office is behind it. That's very true. And what was on the ground underneath? What was it landing in? And the answer for you, or the card for you, is the Wheel of Fortune. Well, we may never know. We'll find out. Maybe we won't. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. And then a card for the rest of us for sticking to the end. You got the Two of Wands. This is all about looking at actions for the future. Do you want to take the high road? Do you want to take the low road? What action do you want to take? I'll tell you what. I'll give you some advice. Don't take Rudy Giuliani's actions. Those are the low road, and just bad things are going to happen. Hope you're all having a great day. Take care, folks. Bye. Double secret card time. Ooh, much better secret card. 9 of Pentacles. Let's all enjoy the things of value that we have around us. Take care, folks. Have a great night.